said the time COVID come, they say if you get COVID, if you know the smell or you know the taste anything, it means COVID catch you. Know me that.
Oh yeah.
He said some lady go buy egg. She ate it and it tasted good. And she went to buy beans and it tasted good. She got baked beans. It tasted good.
Wow, that's a lot.
Cabbage. It tasted good. Then she wanted to buy cows and someone was still say, "Hey, madam." Who say Okay. Adam, morning.
Morning, Chairman.
How are you morning?
Good morning, Andy Dusty.
We are morning.
Good morning, Andy.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
There is an issue. Listeners, the legend of Aku Sika, yaka bebrebe. Asem wo ho. Ana asem aba ho. The legend of Aku Sika, I wish I speak with George Kwe this morning. The legend of Aku Sika, asem aba ho. Asem be na aba. Is likely it will go to court. But before I tell you about this issue, dial *281#. Sika Okrom meche 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,000 to someone. 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,000. Have you won it before?
No, please.
Where's your phone? Try it now. When you scan it, be there, yeah. So you don't bother me, Andy. Give me money, Andy.
But Andy, I ask you for dollars.
I'm giving you 1,000 Ghana cedis right now.
Dollars.
Hey, shall we have phone a good honey? What?
What is it?
This iPhone Play 16.
Oh wow, 16 is not. I was
15.
No.
Dial a *2
281#.
81#.
Oh, no.
I dial it *281#. I'm just being trying to 1,000 million. This is here. Let me have a car. Select option 5. 8 FM. What right? Network is what? When your network and simple. Adam, we'll try on. Adam, they will try, sir. Please wait.
Adam,
enter number of tickets. Mami money 2. Mintra 10 now. Miss Midibi. Please enter pin when prompted. I'm waiting for my prompt. Hey, as soon. Enter the last day, no. Authorized payment. Abba. Enter pin to Adam.
Oh, but me not me boy area.
I'm worried. I will try. As soon, do you want to approve this transaction? Number 1, yes. Payment of 10 Ghana cedis has been made successfully. Adi obia to me the current balance wait. Yes. Me the money. Aye. I'm not afraid. Oh, Fio. Me send it in kakra. Aye. If you wait, quick cash. Thanks for playing quick cash. Your ID. Okay, immediately I'll be reading everything on air.
You see how you're screaming and saying it?
Yeah, because me be this guy. Uda mutian mana abiya mami. And we na mo na me try yo. Say abiya let no man come tell me say that thing be azan. Because the thing is open for all. Please, you two for try it. *281#. Me, I've played 10 CDs. You can play 5 CDs or you can play 20 CDs if you want to win more. Me, I want 1,000 CDs per. Someone wants 2,000 CDs per. You can try it with 5, 20, 30, 40. The opposite did the piano. That one there, it depends on you. Now, the National Theatre of Ghana has been notified about a possible copyright infringement regarding an upcoming play, The Legend of Aku Sika. In a letter dated May 28, cited by myjoyonline.com, Judge Apreku Dentu assessed that the Legend of Aku Sika, a play to be staged at the National Theatre on 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th June 2024, is the brainchild of his father, L.D. Apreku. This is please, check this. This is a dramatization of the novel Aku Sika written by the late L.D. Apreku. The letter states. It further indicates that the producers of the play, Image Bureau and April Communications, did not seek permission from him. There has not been any contact of the performing group with the copyright owners of the novel Aku Sika, he writes. Speaking to my journal online, Mr. Dentu said there was a possibility that the Legend of Aku Sika written by Professor Martin Owusu was inspired by his father's book. I read online that the play, which is about to be staged at the National Theatre, is based on Nana Kwame Ampadu's Aku Sika, and the song is based on the novel Aku Sika written by my father, he said. Asked if he had read Professor Martin Owusu's version to ascertain if it bears any similarities with his father's, he said, no, I haven't read it. That is why I said possible infringement. Okay. So we're going to speak with Mr. Apreku, Mr. Dentu, and find out whether he's read it now and there is any form of similarity, or he has even spoken or encountered the producers of the upcoming play. Kwame, let me start with you. I think you've spoken to the gentleman.
Yeah, Mr. Dentu.
Right.
Yeah. So I had the information last night. No, sometime in the
Kwame, now I feel like when you were sitting on it, this is your small behind.
I was doing my checks. I needed to do my checks and then put out a story about it. So I just wrote the story early this morning. And according to him, the play, The Legend of Aku Sika, which is going to be staged this weekend by April Communications and Image Bureau, is inspired by his father's book called Aku Sika. According to him, his father's book is an Akan novel. And he believes that this particular play being staged, or which is going to be staged by George Kwe and Na Ashoko, is more or less an inspiration that they had from his fathers. So I asked him if he had read Professor Martin Owusu's play. And he told me his book. And he told me he hasn't read it, but according to him, he has read online that Martin Owusu took inspiration from Nana Kwame Ampedu's song Aku Sika. And
meanwhile, Nana Kwame Ampedu
also took inspiration from his father's book.
Okay.
But the question is, did Nana Kwame Ampedu take inspiration from his father's book?
Well,
is the story not a folk tale?
There's always,
possibly,
even if it's a folk tale, I mean, it's someone's creation. Sometimes it could be that someone, or it was created out of someone's inspiration.
And has Professor Martin Owusu told anybody that he took inspiration from Nana Kwame Ampedu's song?
Okay, wait. This argument will be very interesting because
so there are so many questions.
For someone like Mr. Dentu,
yeah,
who has listened to Nana Kwame Ampedu's song, read his father's book, made the comparison,
but he hasn't read
Professor Martin Owusu's, but
Legend of Aku Sika.
Someone that knows and can authenticate or certify that Nana Kwame Ampedu took inspiration from his father's novel.
Yeah.
Right? For somebody like that, he knows what he's about. He knows what he's saying. Because, well, he speaks on authority. That, yes, I know. Kwame Dazi looks like Adam. Have you seen them before? No. Hey, me where are they with them? I'm telling you. Like my mother arguing with me that Ajagraja is the brother of Bulldog. All because they bear the surname.
I have heard that story before.
Yeah.
I was like,
Mommy says, oh, because they bear the surname, the same surname. Oh, Tiomudin Adams.
Look alike.
Let's speak with Mr. George Apreku. Good morning and many thanks for joining us, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You're live on Hits 103.9 FM. Thank you very much
I'm live.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think I would want to have this conversation on air. I'm afraid. if we can talk behind the scenes, then if on air can be done later. But right now, I can't speak on air.
Well, it's good I had to, but the producers told you they were calling you on the radio. Huh?
Oh, I was telling that his line was spinning, so I wasn't getting most of what he was saying. But all he said he would call me later, so I talked to somebody. I didn't know he was putting me on there. I'm very sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think you've already spoken to someone about this issue. I think you spoke with my Joe online about the issue, right?
Yes, but it was a conversation we had. It wasn't on. It wasn't. He identified himself that he was calling from Joy Online, but it wasn't on air.
But are you aware the story is published?
I've just been informed. That's why I wouldn't want to go on air straight away. At least I would want to check and make sure. I haven't read the story myself, but somebody just told me that it's been published on Joy on air.
It's fine if you don't want to comment on it. I wanted us to discuss the story they did based on the conversation you had with them about the Legend of Aku Sika, the upcoming play. Now that you don't want to discuss it, in case, okay, fine, if you don't want to talk about it, in case they proceed with the play, what's going to happen? Are you suing them?
Well, that isn't the intention so far. That we haven't made up. I am speaking on behalf of the family. That's why I wouldn't want to go ahead with certain things. I have to talk to, because I'm not acting alone. I'm only my father's son, and there are several siblings. So.
And are these siblings aware you're taking this action?
Oh yes, they are aware.
Okay.
It was part of the family who drew my attention to it, and asked that we do this. So it was just to notify them that there's the possible infringement. We've copied the copyright administrator, so I think he may take it up.
So in this case, if you don't intend suing them, what was the purpose? Was it just to notify them and let it be, or notify them and take legal actions later on?
As I've said, you're making me talk after having declined not to talk. So if you speak to me offline, fine. Off air, fine. But I wouldn't want to say all these things.
All right.
I'm very sorry.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks too for.
I'm so grateful. All right.
I'm surprised he's not willing to speak to this, because
it's already out.
I called him last night, introduced myself to him as a journalist from Joy FM and JoyOnline.com. He agreed to speak to me. I'm not sure, as a journalist who had called to seek clarification to an issue, I was doing that to go and hide it in my in my closet. But I told him we had received this information and we wanted clarity on it. And he explained. So why is he, quote unquote, running away from the story? I don't know. But even the story itself is not that confident. Because if you say possibility
because it's already out
of copyright infringement, then you are not, maybe you didn't do your research well. Your background information to the story isn't that concrete. But I think that there have been times where people who are popular had taken words from not so popular people and they had gotten away with it. So I thought this could be a very good test case in the literary world, because most times we have such cases in the music industry. We've not seen that when it comes to literary works like what we are seeing now. And so I think this should have been something that we should really dissect and see. Probably his father may have a right in this whole publication or production that we're coming to see this Saturday. Maybe yes, maybe no. But the way he's going about the whole conversation, I think possibly they're having maybe a second thought about the letter.
Let's speak with George Quay. George, many thanks. Let me also inform you that, George, you are live on Hits FM. Will you decline to talk?
Well, have you put me live on air without my permission? I mean, why? This is not fair. This is very, very unprofessional.
Very, very unprofessional.
Yes, but we like unprofessional. So let's talk. It's okay.
Charlie, I'll be.
Very well, my brother. God is good. I forgot to comb my hair at home, so I'm driving looking for comb to buy.
It happens.
No, you
know, sometimes, me. Wherever you judge, na pampem na pa, na pampem na pa. But
my pampem na pa been drew. So we level on there, we VIP.
Massa. What they had all cockot today there and talk.
Oh, there's a height requirement. Yeah, I don't qualify.
Okay, I just spoke with Mr. Preku, who unfortunately declined to make certain things apparent on air. However, there is...
Sorry, please, who is Mr. Preku?
Mr. George Apreku is the son of Mr. L.D. Apreku, the late L.D. Apreku, who is the original writer, or Mr. Apreku's suitors. Mr. Apreku, there's a letter. I don't know if you've seen a letter indicating that the play by Image Bureau and April Communications are infringing on a play written by the late L.D. Apreku, a novel written by L.D. Apreku. Are you aware of this?
Yesterday, our partners, the National Theatre, while we were rehearsing, did indicate that a letter of that nature had come in.
Judge, please, you are a bit distant from the phone. Can you please get closer?
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me try to use the hand.
Uh-oh.
Hold on a second.
Righty. That is Shijama.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Yes, Shijama. Okay, George.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes, better. Thank you.
Great. So as I was saying, yesterday while we were rehearsing, I had an information from our partners, the National Theatre, suggesting that a letter of that nature had come in. But I was with a technical team, so couldn't have time to look at it. So it was later after rehearsal that I had a look at the letter, and I said, "Oh, this is exciting," because I was trained by Professor Martinosu, just as many other thespians and other practitioners in this country, from music to art to PR to you name it. And in one of our classes, I recall that Professor Martinosu did indicate that he started working on this particular play as far back as 1973, while he was in the UK. And then he worked on it between 73, 74, and he completed it when he got to Ghana around 79. While he was in Ghana, that was when he completed it. And it was officially, I think, released for publication around 99. But prior to that, he had even won an ECRA award with it. You remember there used to be an ECRA award, entertainment.
That's right.
Something award. Yeah, he had won an ECRA award with it. If I'm not mistaken, around 97, 98 thereabouts. It is folklore, and it is one of those stories you grew up hearing. And I'm yet to identify any of those folkloric tales we have actually be given an owner. Yes, stories do emanate from somewhere, but that is the beauty of oral tradition, handed down from tradition to tradition. So I am quite excited we have something like this. I can't wait for the day somebody will wake up and say we should stop telling Kukwadansi stories because they all belong to his father. It is a good case study. If the gentleman believes that everything he has is right and it's appropriate, I personally would love to see how this pans out in court, because it will be a learning curve for all of us. I mean, I am also a writer, I'm a creator, and if somebody just picks my work and decides to, commercialize it, and for us, this particular play is not even about commercialization. It is to honor the man the octogenarian, who is the oldest lecturer at the University of Ghana, and writer of the play. When I read the document, I saw a novel. The gentleman needs to understand a novel is not a play. You understand? Otherwise, they should probably be suing Nana Mpedu for doing the song as well.
What if Nana Kwame, please hold on. What if Nana Kwame Mpedu sought permission to record the song with the story?
It would be good to know. It would be good to know if he did.
Right, that's number one. Number
But
two,
for me,
you mentioned that a novel is not a play, but it can be an adaptation, right?
it can be an inspiration, not an adaptation. You do not adapt a novel. You draw inspiration from a novel to turn it into other works, maybe a screenplay. For instance, R.R. Martin's R.R. Martin's wrote, what you call it, the Ring thing.
Fire Ring.
I think is it the Lord of the Rings trilogy or so? One of those writers. You understand? When you write it originally,
Game of Thrones,
exactly. Game of Thrones. R.R. Martin's. The original is Game of Thrones, and then it was written for screen. You understand? So the original work, it's not really, when you write it for screen, it is not necessarily an adaptation. You are writing it for screen. An adaptation is when I pick a work and then either you are changing the time frame or you are changing the cultural space within which it has been written. For instance, I can pick William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, which is pretty much medieval times and situated within 2024 Ghana. So you adapt it and then you tell the story. You're picking the same theme, the same storyline, but everything else will be different. So costume will be different, language will be different. Even the issues they are fighting over, the concept of the pound of flesh might no longer be a pound of flesh. It might be somebody's land that you want or something like that. So those are the differences.
So George, so same can be done with Aku Sika. It can be done with Aku Sika, where the settings are changed and modernized. It can be done.
Like I said, there are inspirations and adaptations.
Right.
So, but adaptations, the one that I'm talking about is from play to play. You understand? However, you can write, you can pick, if, for instance, his father's novel, someone can pick it up and turn it into a movie. You can write it for screen. The same way somebody can pick the same novel up and write it for stage. But you see, you cannot just get up and pick it up and do it. Because if they believe Professor Martinusu just got up and picked it up and did it, then they probably need to take it up with him. You understand me? Because for us, the work we are doing this work done by Professor Martinusu, officially published, officially recognized, and officially used even as a school text to train thousands of students. Even recently, my international school performed it at the National Theatre. I think about a year or two ago. They performed it at the National Theatre. You understand? Because it is a recognized drama text, play text, that has been accepted numerously, used by schools across the country and even outside GH. It's been studied globally. If you go on the internet, there are numerous works that have been done to critique it, to analyze it, to interpret it. So we are not the type of people who like to take somebody's intellectual work and not give proper attribution or proper recognition. The gentleman wants to have a conversation, we can have a conversation, and then by the time we are done, we'll all be educated. But, Andy, you know me, I cannot be shaken. I cannot be coward, I cannot be scared. So if the gentleman believes that he has the right evidence and the right everything, I think it would be a good case study. I mean, if we go to court, it will be a learning curve for all of us. I agree with one of your panel members. We don't have a lot of such lessons in the creative space. So there are two things he can do. He can either, we are at the National Theatre right now, we are rehearsing. He can pass by, we can have a conversation, and then we can all educate ourselves. But if he insists on going to court, we bless him. There are many lawyers in Ghana.
This is what the letter states. Let me read the last paragraph. It says, I wish to kindly inform you of a possible. The word is possible. Copyright infringement.
He himself is not even sure.
Yes, that's what he's saying, because he doesn't know of your play. Per the interview on, excuse me guys, we're live. Per the interview on My Joy Online, he said he hasn't read Professor Martinusu's book, right? And so if he mentions a possible, I think is the right word to use, he is informing you, I wish to kindly inform you of a possible copyright infringement by this performance. This
Andy,
is because, please let me finish for the benefit of our dear listeners.
All right.
Because the letter is not published, it's not out. We intend publishing it on our social media pages, but It says, this is because there has not been any contact of the performing group with the copyright owners of the novel, Aku Sika. Thank you. This is what he says.
Okay, so Andy, my question then will be, so what does he want done? You understand? Because for me, if I am taking this course of action, I'll be specific. That, okay, either stop it immediately or either come sit, let's talk. I want action, but it sounds very unsure and it's unfortunate. I don't even know how to react to it. Anyway, regardless, the letter was not written to Image Bureau or partners April Communications. It was written to the National Theatre. So maybe they may be the best to respond to this. However, I would encourage the gentleman, if you want to take a course of action of this nature, I think it would be better for the education of the entire creative space, the sector, that you are specific with what outcome you want out of what you are writing. Because if you are right, okay, you want to inform us, we've heard, thank you.
Okay,
Because
now there's this.
Us, then we've heard, thank you.
Okay.
Because the question then would be, I wish it could be a bit more specific. So based on ABCD, with such evidence ABCD, we want you to either halt the play, or we want you to pick a different play, or we want you to pay this amount ABCD as performance levy, or we want you to, we need action. You understand? Or we want you to halt it and see us so that we can have conversations regarding, then we can come with our lawyers, you come with yours, we sit down, everybody considers everybody's evidence. Let us just honor the man who has lectured and taught many thespians in Ghana with one of his works. I mean, I don't understand some of these things.
Okay, George, simple and short, you've explained. However, if Professor Martin Owusu tells you that, oh, yes, I now remember. I picked it from Professor L.D. Apraku's book, and that's where the story emanated from. What will you do?
Oh, that is Christmas for Professor L.D. Apraku's family, because what it would mean is that all the copies that have been sold from Professor Martin Owusu's original play, they have royalties in there, and they would have to take it up with him. And then, of course, for us, going forward, we'll have a conversation on what terms we would agree to. And then, Andy, really, this is not a problem at all. It's a conversation of terms. The play has not been staged already. It is about to be staged this weekend, and it will be staged this weekend. So if indeed my boss, my father, my inspiration, my friend, Professor Martin Owusu, now says, oh, George, yeah, right, I remember. LD was my friend. I spoke to him. He explained, he narrated, and blah, blah, blah. So he actually gave us, but he also gave me his blessing, and just like he did for Nanam Pedu, he told me I could go ahead. The story ends there. Or if he says, yes, I did, so we actually do owe him some royalties, then they sort it out at that level. But the Professor Martin Owusu that I know has always said it, that this is Ghanaian folklore. And beyond me, before I entered School of Performing Arts, I had heard the Legend of Aku Sika. While producing Agro, I worked on Agro with David Onto for 9 years. A lot of the villages that we visited, and sometimes when you go to these villages, people come on and come and tell all stories. These are sick villages. Some of them don't even have electricity, but they were narrating the story of Legend of Aku Sika. Are you telling me they went to read a book somewhere? It is a Ghanaian story embedded deep in our folk tale. You understand me?
Well, I told you about the story and how old I was when I watched it a few days ago.
When you, how long ago? You know it from way back, eh?
Oh yeah, but I mentioned it. Have you forgotten? A few days ago, I told you about the story.
Yes, you did. When I came to the studio, yes, you did mention it. So that is the thing, Andy. So who can claim? Because if we are not careful, tomorrow morning somebody will wake up and say all Kwekwanansi stories belong to me. Or tomorrow morning, somebody can get up and say, all the Dinkra symbols belong to me. Or tomorrow morning, somebody can get up and say, when I was a young man, I used to see the Dinkra symbols in my hall. I did not see them anywhere else. My father was an artist. He used to carve them. So all the Dinkra symbols that you've seen in town, they started from our living room, so they all belong to me. If we are not careful, that's where we would get to. And we need to understand that for us in the creative space, there's something called fair use. You understand me? I did a little reading on the professor's, the LD Apraku's thing when I saw it last night. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, around 1959 or so, it was written as an account text. If it were indeed written around 1959 as an account text, then even legally falls within fair use in our space. So there is, again, no legal tussle there.
All right. Thank you very much. If any other thing comes up, we will knock on your door.
But let us remind listeners that tickets are still up for sale. It's just 200 Ghana cedis. You can visit www.imagebureaugh.com or you can dial our USSD code. It is *714 *11 *21#. We are the National Theatre. Anybody who wants to see our rehearsal is welcome, including my namesake, George. What's the last name? Apreku, right?
Yes.
Yes, invited. Usually when we finish, we eat some fufu around Osu. The place is called Asabia. We can go sit down and I like good fly soup. You bet me, I should inquire near a kind of. We are sending you. He himself is invited to watch the play.
Okay, that's
Asabia.
George, that's Asabia. Adam, please.
Settings man, George, please.
Hey.
I don't
over
even,
settings due.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say because, I mean, Mr. Apreku would have done us a lot of good by responding to his own earlier letter because you are, whatever the case is, it's going to raise a certain doubt, about somebody's credibility. And if you are not ready or sure, then you don't start it at all. But copy
He didn't say he's not ready. He says he's not ready to talk about it. Probably he has plans.
But you've already gone to the media because somebody has spoken to you and you gave, and he's ready to talk to you. But not on air. But the information was because after speaking to the media person, or the information or the koyang wamwana, the person will put it out. What you say? So if you are ready to speak to and the door, if you are ready to speak to the media person, so don't do that. You understand? Don't just leave the thing hanging. Go straight. Let's understand your point so that we can better analyze the issues. In order not to taint or, create any doubts around somebody's credibility. If you've not read the book, do your work. Come, you ask him, is he going to take legal action? He's saying, oh, it's not really that. What is it that he's looking for?
Such people can be very dangerous.
Yeah. Don't do that. Even in courts, if you have a case against somebody, you are asked by the court to, also make the person see. Definitely, if it ends up in court, you need to. You don't need to It's like you are fighting with some arms behind. You don't have to do that. You need to let the person know the brief of the case and whatever grounds you are standing on to make your case so that they also know how to, respond to you. So he should be very clear in, his request and what he wants to be done so that it can be resolved. Prof is there. I would have even wished that he contacted Prof too. For further clarification before even writing to the National Theatre so that we clear all of these things. We're in a casa. Maybe I'll be okay.
Yeah, please.
I don't want to sound biased in this situation.
Biased.
Because, I was also taught by Professor Martin Owusu when I was in school, modern European drama. When I was in school, so it hits home for me. This
legendary Martin Owusu.
Yes, hits home for me, and he's such a fantastic teacher. It's hard to even get a B in his class because I'll tell you the truth. It's hard to get a B in his class. If you got below B, you probably didn't listen or you didn't make it to class because this man is a walking, he's read every single book that he's supposed to teach on, and he has decades of tutelage under his belt. So he comes to class, and even if you get a line in the particular play or a particular book wrong, he corrects you because he knows what he's talking about. And when it comes to the Legend of Aku Sika, I can't count the number of times I've seen it being performed, one at the National Theatre, one by the Ebibi Groma, who is like the National Theatre Group of Ghana, and so many, places. So for Mr. Apreku to come to say that it sounds like he got the inspiration from his father's book, it's quite interesting to me when he hasn't even read the play. If I'm quoting him verbatim, Mr. Kwame Dati, he has not even read the play, Professor Martin Owusu's play, to verify. He's just going by the name Aku Sika, right?
No, and the fact that he had read somewhere that Professor Martin Owusu took inspiration from Nana Kwame Ampedu's Aku Sika song.
Aku Sika song.
Kwame Ampedu also took inspiration
from his father.
Aku Sika.
You get, but I mean, if we are even to go according to what even Mr. George Quay was even saying, he was saying that adaptations and inspirations do happen. I mean, I was saying to you behind the scenes that Sophocles' Oedipus Rex and Olarotimi's Gods Are Not to Be Blamed, adaptations, inspirations. Like, there are so many even when you go to Hollywood, there are so many books that have been made. Of course, they talk to the writers or the novelists, and then they make it into the movies. But then I could also say that it is Nana Kwame Ampedu's song, and if Nana Kwame Ampedu didn't tell Professor Martin Owusu that he got the inspiration from Mr. George Apreku's father, where are we going to now? Like, how? And he doesn't even want to speak on the situation on air, so we don't know where we're going, we don't know where we're coming from.
He doesn't want us to
let's just sort it out, because I can't wait to go and watch the play though. Because I want to see George Quay's interpretation of that play. I've seen it a lot of times. I've used it for my classwork, which is play analysis, so many times. So I want to also go and watch it and see how Mr. George Quay, as a director and a producer, interprets it.
No, it's not that. It is not.
This one is being directed.
Okay.
That's a directorial debut.
But I think yes. But I think Mr. George Quay is also going to yes, because of course he has been to the school and he knows the ins and outs. So I guess they are going to they are teaming up to do it, right? So I want to see both of them, their interpretation of the play.
Andy, I have a question, not to you, but I don't know if any copyright expert is listening to us. Assuming Professor Martin Owusu took inspiration from Apreku's father's book, Aku Sika, and George Quay is staging this play by Professor Martin Owusu this weekend, assuming it means that Professor Martin Owusu actually owes Apreku, right? How does the production company owned by George Quay and Nashoko come in here? Do they have anything to pay to the original owner?
Before you go on, I think when Mr. George Quay was talking, he said the book was published in 1954. Okay. So according to what he has read, when it comes to copyright, the statute of limitation has passed already. When it comes, and it, so yes, so it has.
1954.
Yeah, 1954. That's what George Quay said.
When it becomes a folk material.
Yes,
but
that's what George Quay said.
My question is, assuming Apreku still holds the right, how does the company that is producing the stage play this weekend come in? Because they didn't write or publish the play. They're just performing it. Do they need to pay royalties to the original owner or to the immediate author?
Well, we'll have to compare the books.
It depends. You see, it's very unfortunate for somebody like Mr. Apreku to say he hasn't referred or compared the
two.
Texts, yeah.
Until you do that, you don't hurriedly notify.
I'm even raising a hypothetical situation.
No, Kwame.
Where all these situations hold true.
Kwame, thank you. That's it. So you need to verify before you go ahead with any of such. Because look, if you don't know about Ria and you say, and the name Ria there, a Mema Kwano, have you checked? No, Mema, Tienidin. You go to find out and you realize that, oh, Ria no Yoba.
And even in the letter.
Oh, I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
The letter, I think that he should have even find a way to address or reach out to the April's Communication and Image Bureau, as well as Professor Martin Owusu, who are...
And then found so National Theatre, they are partners.
Yes.
So since he doesn't know them...
What I'm saying is that...
There's a legal term for that. This what the weak something is affected. They rather attack the weak. There's a legal there's some term be like that. Yeah.
So why? I mean, the key stakeholders in this thing, you are not reaching out to them in any way, especially like the way he sounded when you brought the issue of legal, tussle. The way he responded meant that he is not on that trajectory to cause legal harm. He just wanted the right thing to be done. So if that is the case, why did he not approach George and his team or Professor Martin Owusu to ensure the right thing is done?
For all you
That's
know,
all he said he wants.
Apreku might have a case in this.
Of course.
I think one day we should bring a copyright expert. Yeah, I hear music in this, so we know more about music and how the copyright thing operates.
Whether he has a case or he doesn't have, I don't have a problem.
Okay.
But for me, I was thinking that looking for a certain finality to this matter, it would have been good he approached the key stakeholders to address his concern. That's all that's all my issue. That, okay, why don't you reach out to, because if there is an issue of copyright of a song, clearly you reach out to the person who is being addressed as the owner of the song, and maybe the
another one who is going to perform it,
not the venue where the program is going to take
where
place. You understand? So why don't you reach out to the key stakeholders?
But maybe performances of stage plays and literary works, they operate differently from music.
But it doesn't,
maybe I'm just saying.
But it doesn't. Stop him
from assumption.
It doesn't stop him from reaching out to the key stakeholders, April's Communication and Image Bureau, as well as
when I spoke to him, he said he didn't know them. He didn't know the company.
You don't know Prof.
He didn't know
who took.
He said he had heard that he's a lecturer at the University of Ghana. He didn't even know about him.
Just find and present your case.
Head.
That also what to say is your child. Then I'm saying, yeah, or your professor, or yeah, like he's a legend.
Just find them and present your case to them. That be all my issue. Whether he has a case or not, that's not my point. My point is find the key stakeholders and present your issues to them, than to come on air first and later say you are trying to withdraw.
He didn't come on.
No, come
air.
to the media.
I reached out to him to interview him.
Then later you are withdrawing. Well, shouldn't you youth?
Maybe he likes to be interviewed for online, but not for radio.
Congratulations.
Wait. Okay. Chale, I know win them.
Maybe
no, I know win them.
Radio interview.
Hey, start to wait one. I know win them. You know what? Hey, that thing go me, Papa. I don't win them. No, wait. No, let me check if my momo. Make I check my momo if cash no come top because. Isaac.
Chairman, I win them already.
You're too easy to cry.
Isaac.
Chairman.
You take the money, they come. Okay.
I mean, you know the time with me I start. Early in the morning, you know where I start.
Early in the morning.
Yes, with me I start throwing in.
How much did you stake?
60 Ghana.
5-0.
You throw 2 per 10 cedi per you the kind of.
But how did you know me? I stake 10 cedis.
I'm listening to the show.
So you've won what? 1,000 Ghana?
Yes, I was.
Hey.
I beg you, you know something. Give me your momo line, make I give you your 10 cedi back.
You spot it.
Hey, the guy that teach pass. Channel man be frequent. So this is here. Hey, Isaac.
Yeah, man.
I beg, which side you dey?
I beg I did do the work.
Anyway, you take the money. You get them or you been out and they send them.
So I get time already.
Hey. Oh,
You may see you when you're younger.
I'd rather see you there. Oh, there, far. Aye. So, congrats. Tomorrow I go try again. So, you say 50 Ghana where you take win that money. Okay. All right. Tomorrow, me too, I go stake 50.
Tomorrow I go throw more than 50.
Yeah, Isaac.
Get 1,000 to show.
As rather you get, but henceforth me that you will go challenge. I swear. Hey, henceforth. Hey. Okay, bro. Charlie, thank you very much. Hey. That's what the guy win the money.
This is Hits.